Alright guys, thank you for purchasing the Vanishing. Now, as you can see on the table, you probably figured it out. Invisible thread. That's the secret. Now, it should have been provided in your DVD. I'm pretty sure Yigal Misiko's invisible thread. If not, it should be fine. It should be strong enough. I use Yigal's because, in my opinion, it's the strongest invisible thread, so it wouldn't snap on you. And you can use it probably 5 to 6 times. But let's get into that later on. You need magician's wax. You will need scissors, maybe. And go and grab a coin. And that's it. Let's get right into the coin vanish. This is chapter 1. Alright guys, so for chapter 1 is the coin vanish. Now, we realized after putting this in the editing software that it is completely impossible for you guys to actually see the invisible thread. So, the entire time for tutorial purposes, we will do everything with actual thread so that you can see it, more or less, okay? Because we want you to see how it's done. So, and then you'll try out with your own invisible thread and see how it works and everything, okay? So what you want, this is actually not the ideal outfit. The only reason why I'm wearing this is because it's my personality. But you want to actually wear a t-shirt. And you'll see why later on, especially for the coin vanish. For the other versions, you can wear anything. You can be naked and you can do those versions, okay? In fact, this coin vanish would be good for you to be naked because then it's easier for the coin to slide into certain positions. You'll see. So, to start out with, thread. Oh, and you need tape. I completely forgot about that. You need tape. You need thread, wax, and a coin. You don't really need scissors when it comes to breaking invisible thread. I need scissors because I'm cutting this. So here is what you're going to do. A good idea when you're working with invisible thread, you want to take a nice long sheet of white paper. Alright, place it on the table. Place your spool on one end. Reel out the thread so you can actually see it on that white background. Now, I don't know if the camera can catch my red thread, but as long as you can see, it's parallel to the table. So in this case, it would be parallel to that white piece of paper. Tape. Now, you probably know already how everything's done just by the method, the actual secret. But in any case, I'm just going to go through it really quickly. Now, you could go maybe 3 or 4 times, wrap it around. Now, I'm right-handed. So if you're left-handed, everything that you do will be the opposite of me in terms of slights, in terms of where the tape's going to go, okay? In my case, it's going to the bottom left part of my ear. Right there. Alright? Just like that. Now, here's what's going to happen. You're going to stand up straight. Now, I don't know if the camera can see this. Can the camera see the bottom of my elbow? Yeah? Alright. So what's going to happen is you want to get the spool, take the spool with you, straight, and, hold on, there we go. You want to use your thumb and your first finger, feel the thread until it reaches your elbow. Alright? Once it reaches your elbow, stop right there. Alright? You have your finger positioned right there. Make sure you're staying up straight too. Don't slouch and try to look. That's the mistake I do all the time. And if you do that, you're going to get the wrong adjustment. So you want to stand up straight, align your thumb and index finger with your elbow whilst the thread is being pulled upon. So that means there's tension. Alright, not too much because you don't want to break it yet. Alright? So, hold it there. What you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors. Now, I need scissors, but if you have invisible thread, just break it off. An inch below the area, hold on 1 second, an inch below where your thumb and first finger are, you're going to cut that. Hold on 1 second. There we go. See how there's space? Now what this is for your what that is for your wax. So you're going to take your wax, take a little, not too much. You'll see why later on. If you take too much, it wouldn't be a good thing. Roll it up until you reach your first finger and thumb. Now you're going to measure. See if you did it right. So stand up straight. Now if you have a mirror, this is perfect. You're going to go down here. And if it is more or less on your elbow, you're good. You're good to go. Alright? So that's it. So go ahead and do that. Make sure you have everything set up. Alright? And you can pause this so that you can get ready before you watch the next section. Okay? Alright, awesome. Alright, so thread and wax. Now I have a lot of wax because the thread is quite thick. Now, for your invisible thread, you're not going to need that much wax, but in any case, here's what's going to happen. You can either have a coin already set up, attached to the string. I love to borrow coins. I always like to do coins with a borrowed object. I mean, magic with borrowed objects. So I usually borrow the coin, but whichever one fits your performance style, do it, okay? Because do what you feel is right. So, in any case, this is how I do it. I set it up before I walk to the table. You know, you probably, if you worked with threads before, you already know this position. It's behind your left thumb, if you're right-handed, okay, on the fingernail. That way it's attached. Now, your hand's like this. Don't go down because it's gonna, you know, if you've ever done the trick with the levitating floating card, you'll know what I mean. So, coin, alright? You're gonna take the coin. What's gonna happen is you're gonna attach it to the coin, like that. Now, if you notice, now it's attached. All I did was I touched. If you don't know how to do this, it's quite simple. You take the borrowed coin. As you take out your Sharpie from your pocket, as you take out the Sharpie from your pocket, you attach. Now, you can make the coin levitate if you want, but that would ruin everything. So, alright, attach to the coin. You show them the pen. You show them the pen and the coin. You place the coin onto your hand. Now, remember, the thread, I don't know if the camera can catch this, but the thread is going to be on the, okay, the thread that's coming out from the coin from underneath has to be facing you. You don't want it to be like this, because then when they're signing the coin, they might hit the thread, right? So you want it to be like this. Alright? So they sign a coin. Now, there's many ways you can do this. In the trailer, you probably saw both, where I vanished it with my hand, right? Or where I placed it on the spectator's hands and I vanished it. Now, that one takes a little bit of guts. It is a little bit more angle sensitive than vanishing from your hands. But regardless, I will teach you both, because vanishing from the spectator's hands, in my opinion, is extremely powerful. So, you can do either way. So, you have the coin, you show the coin signed, right, by the spectator. And it's a normal coin. This is the exposed version. This is what it looks like from that end. Not from the front, but from the complete right stage. Sorry, left stage. If you can see the red thread, it's going to get caught in between my thumb and my first finger. And as I lift my head up, that coin's going to rise up. Now, right now, the angles are perfect. You can't really see the coin from here to here. Your angles are good. So you can perform this. If everyone's sitting down at a chair on a whole row, this is one of the perfect coin vanishes to do. Because literally, your hand is hovering over your left hand. And it seems like it barely touches it. Right? It does go close, but it doesn't go too close. It doesn't rub. So, in any case, after you do this move, hold on. Go up, right? And remember, it's your head that's moving up because it's attached to my ear, right? So if you've ever, like I said, worked with threads like that levitating card, remember if, I don't know if you ever guys have done this, but when you lifted your head up, the card would go closer to your hand and then you grab it. I don't know if you guys have ever done that. I've done that all the time. And that's where this trick was based on. That's how it was inspired. Because of this action. If you notice, when I lift up my head, the coin goes up like a pulley system. So it's kind of cool. So at this point, what do you do now? Well, if you notice, I was waving it like this. So you're going to continue that action. Now you're here. What do you do now? You're going to lower your head slowly. Not like this. You're going to do it slowly. It's fine because your whole action is slow in the first place. Slowly lift it down. Now what you're going to do is you're going to remove your hand. Like that. You can show this hand empty. Now at this point, the coin's right here. Alright, at this angle, you don't see a thing. Now obviously you see the thread, but if you're using invisible thread, then you're fine. So reveal position, the coin's right here, behind the elbow. Now the reason why I love this coin vanish so much is because when the coin is attached to if the tape is attached to your ear, when you automatically move your head to the left, you're causing that coin to backfire to the back of your arm, to your elbow. So now it's stuck there, essentially. And you can literally show your hands empty, completely empty at this point. They can even touch your hands if they want to, which is what's so great about this routine. And you can end there if you want. Or you can make it appear anywhere you want to. You can make it appear behind their ears by saying they're clapping for you, they think that you're done. Nonchalantly, go over, grab, break the thread, make it appear behind their ear. Anything you want, underneath a box. I don't know. Come up with something. But you can also make it reappear. Now, let's just go over the vanish one more time before we go over the appearance. So this is what it looks like in exposed view. Wave, down, slides all the way to the back elbow. Now, from the front, it looks like this. It looks absolutely clean. Alright, you can show everything. Now, this is what you're going to do when you want to make it reappear. Alright, you want to just take your hand, and you want to misdirect them, because this is the hardest part of the whole routine. Alright, and this part, listen carefully. You want to have the coin slide all the way to your wrist, like this. And that's tough, because sometimes, and I'm not going to lie, I do flash. Alright, and that's why I need the use of misdirection. So, use your other hand to pretend to grab something out of thin air. Now if you notice, I already have the coin right over there. Cut. Now if you notice, the coin's right here. Okay? So, like that. So you can actually show your hands empty, like this. And it's completely clean. Well, I love this because it's attached to the thread. Of course it's not going to go anywhere, right? And the angles, if you think about it, are pretty good. From here, all the way to here. Of course, when I go here, then it flashes. But right now, it's fine. So, let's go over that one more time. It's behind the elbow. This is the magic part right here, because they can feel your hands. They can do anything they want, because it's obviously nowhere near your fingers. That's the most important thing. Okay, so, remember, this part's the hardest part. I'm not going to lie, I do flash sometimes. Alright, I'm probably going to flash sometime during this performance. But, my point is, it's going to flash only a little bit. Why? They're not going to catch it because you're going to use misdirection. You're going to go, I'm going to catch a coin out of thin air, and while you do that, you go boom. Alright? Now you notice I move my arm back, and I move my head this way, causing the coin to fly all the way to my wrist. Now it's here, like this. Right? Now from here you can really do anything. You can go back. You can see the red thread right here. You probably know what's going to happen now. I'm just going to catch it in between my thumb and first finger. Now I have it there. Now hopefully you can catch everything that's going on because you can see that red thread. So, like I said, when we filmed this with invisible thread, we could barely see it, even though I was trying to teach you it. But that's the reason why I'm using red thread right now. But in any case, so it's here, and you can do anything from here. You can make it appear in a box. You can make it appear in your hand. You can make it appear in their hand. I don't know, anything you want. So yeah, okay, so it's right here, right? And let's go over that one more time. Move your head forward, misdirection, right? Now the coin's right here. Coin's right here. Okay. Misdirection. Here. Wave. And then make it reappear wherever you want. I do it back into my hand, or you can make it, just pretend this table is their hand. Just make it reappear in their hand, okay? So, that is the vanish for the the coin vanish in your hands, which in my opinion is pretty darn magical because it's done really slowly and there's no funny movements. But let's just go over that one more time, okay? I'm just going to go step by step from the front, as if I was performing for a layperson. Now, this, like I said, the reason why I have this all rolled up is because if this was rolled down, this is gonna get caught on the invisible thread, and you'll notice why if you wear a shirt like this, a dress shirt. So just do this with a t-shirt. That way the string won't get caught. All right. Anyways, it's better if you do it with a t-shirt because then there's no way there's any sleeves or reels because there isn't. It's thread. All right. Make the coin vanish. That's cool. Now, as they're reacting to this, drop the coin down. They want to see this hand. All right. As they want to see this hand, psychologically, you bring it over here. They're all looking at this hand. Pretend that you have something palmed. Tilt your head this way. Go like this. All right. They all know there's nothing here. So maybe, in their mind, they think you're trying to direct them over here and not have them look at this hand, when this hand actually is indeed empty, which it is. So at this point, you're completely clean. All right. And I don't know, in my opinion, this is already good enough. You don't need to show everything else, but just for the trailer, I just did it just because. So you show your hand's empty, completely. All right. Now when you bring it back, like I said, this is tough, but pretend to grab. Now the coin's right here. All right. Now you can tell them to cuff their hands and then make it appear in their hands, or you can make it appear in your own hands, just like so. All right. One more time. The coin's right here, like that. Catch it between your thumb and your first finger with the thread. Pull your head up like a pulley system. You'll figure this out when you mess around with it. It's pretty self-explanatory actually. And then you just bring the coin down. All right. So that is the coin vanish for in the hands. Let's go over the spectators. All right. All right. So this is the spectators version. All right. You place it in their hands. Now this is a little risky because the angles you have to kind of mess with. The spectator you're performing it for is perfect. Okay. And sometimes it matters, and I'll get into that later and why I think this is good for that situation. And everyone to your right is fine, but to the left of the spectator that you're performing for will be angle sensitive. Okay, so you got to kind of do audience management. So that's cool though. All right, you do this. Lift up the coin with your head. Now the coin's vanished already, right? It's right here. But obviously they don't know that. Neither is your spectator on top. This is the spectator on top, by the way. Alright? He's you right now. Can't see the coin. So, and hopefully you can see the reflection of the table. That way you'll see where the coin is the entire time. Now, you're going to do the exact same thing as I just taught you. See that? Now, if you look at the thread on my, from my ear, the thread's already behind my elbow, right here. See? So you've already done it, and the coin has vanished. And if you do want to bring it back, now have them. Their hands are cuffed the entire time, by the way. So make sure they keep it cuffed. You do the misdirection. Right now the coin's right here on my wrist. Misdirection. Same thing here. Here. The table's their hands. Pretend that, and then obviously lower your head like a pulley system. Boom. Now you'll get all of this very easily. It's very self-explanatory once you know the basic slides. The fact that you have to pull your head up every time you want to vanish it, push your head back down. Slowly, remember slowly. You don't want to cock it up because that's just really weird. So slowly lift your head up to make it vanish. Push it down to make it reappear. Alright? That's the basic principle, essentially. And then along with all the other random slides that you have to do. But yeah, that's it. That's the main concept of the coin vanish. And yeah, so let's go over that one more time. Over when you go boom, right? Because obviously the coin is right over here, oops, behind the elbow. So like this, you can do whatever you want at this point if you want to. I really think it's unnecessary. The only reason why I did this was for you guys, to fool you guys. But for lay people, all you need is this. Really, that's all you need. You don't need anything else. And at this point, you can make it reappear anywhere you want. You can make it reappear behind their ear by just nonchalantly grabbing the coin, breaking it off, peel off the wax as you're making it reappear behind their ear. Okay? Or make it reappear anywhere you want, behind your elbow if you want to. That would be cool. but anywhere you want. But like I said, this is how I do it. This is my preference. You misdirect them. Coin's right here now. See that? Coin's right here. Now you're going to proceed to do the exact same thing with another wave. You make it reappear. So you finish and you end the same. You begin and you end the same exact way with the wave, which in my opinion is very magical. All right. So coin's right there, and then a slight wave. Very slow wave too. Make it very slow. All right, because you want to go slowly, because you can. You don't have to go fast in order to fool them in this case. So yeah, and just remember very quickly, while they're signing that coin, you want to have this thread on this end shooting out that way. You don't want it like this. Okay, that's important. I've done that before and it was a bad mistake because the marker started to touch the thread and it got all over the thread and it wasn't good. I mean, they didn't really catch anything because they're not expecting thread at this point. Lay people are expecting thread when you make it levitate. Alright, that's when they expect some sort of thread. So, but if you're doing it as a vanish, they're not going to expect thread, even if they flash thread. Okay, even if you flash the thread, let's say there's a light to the 45th degree, and that's the worst angle you can be at, by the way. If you want to talk about thread and staging, if you have lights that are to the 45th degree of your spectator's viewpoint, or or vantage point, sorry, they will see that thread. But in this case, they might think it's just a piece of hair, right? Because they'll only see part of the thread. They'll only see maybe a strand and it'll end right here, and then the rest will be invisible. They might think it's just hair. So don't worry about it, all right? That's all I have to say. So you make it reappear. Oh, sorry. They sign it. Great. Now, either you put it on their hand or you leave it on your hand, make it vanish, do the whole thing, and you're done. Voila. You can make it reappear if you want to, or you can just make it vanish and tell them you're done. Have a bow. That's it. That's the coin vanish. That's chapter 1. Let's move on to number 2. Alright, so this is chapter 2 with a Tic Tac box. Now, this doesn't have to be a Tic Tac box. This can be any candy box that has a clear case to it and some sort of a design or an advertisement, which usually there is to advertise the actual candy, that will conceal something, right? In this case, your Tic Tac. So you want to get 2 Tic Tacs. Now, by the way, nothing is altered in the box. Alright? You probably already know the secret and what I'm about to do. But in any case, I'm just going to go over it. Now, you have already 2 Tic Tacs ready made. One of the Tic Tacs is going to have the invisible thread attached on it. Just like so. Okay? The other one's fine. The other one's normal. Now you can borrow the Tic Tac box if you want to. Usually I don't, because I don't find people with Tic Tac boxes, and if I do, I don't have thread on me. But in any case, who knows? You might get lucky. So if you don't borrow one and if you carry one around, make sure you have them examine it as much as they want, as well as this Tic Tac. All right, so they can examine everything. What's going to happen? You're going to have this clipped, just like this. Alright, you're going to take the Tic Tac, you're going to just do a simple swish, and it's not even a switch because you're holding now 2 Tic Tacs in one hand. Alright, so if you can see this, like that, you just take this, place it in your hand, clip it in between these 2 fingers, alright, just like this, hold the Tic Tac box, open it up, pretend to drop that Tic Tac that you had, that they gave you, when you're dropping the one with the thread. Alright, now you can. I hope you can see the thread in there. Hopefully there's not too much glare on there. Let me just bring that closer to you. You can see the thread. You can see the thread right over there. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Alright, so when I pull up, see? Vanished. and you probably don't even know what to do now. You have the tic tac, remember, finger clip right here. Alright? You're going to move it behind that tic tac box. Like so. Alright? So here, you're going to go behind. Like that. Alright? So you're in this position. So it's very clean at this point. You can shake. Now, as you pretend to close it, you're not going to close it fully. Because if you close it fully, the thread's not going to be able to shoot up. So this is what you're going to do. You're going to close it with the other hand. Not fully. You don't want it to click. You hold it. Push your index finger over that case so that it gives the illusion that it's closing when it's not. Alright? So here's the secret. When you go like this, okay, nothing happens. You can have the spectators even touch and feel the bottom of that tic tac box even before you do it, because there's absolutely no hole. You can have your spectators cuff their hand, and if you notice, when you push down naturally, this goes up, right? It's kind of cool actually. So when you do this, you just let go of the tic tac that's already right here. So you go boom, like that, right? Let's do it one more time. Okay, so again, one last time, tic tac's right here behind the thumb, alright, and then you have your finger like this. Now remember, it's not fully closed, right? Because we need the pulley system, remember that. So as the spectators cuff their hands, you prepare to do this, and you go 1, 2, 3, and just boom, the tic tac just falls, and it looks like it literally melts through, which is amazing. When it's not, it's right. Alright, so now, if after you do this, alright, now I did that slow motion so you could see the tic tac go up, but now they're feeling the tic tac. It doesn't really matter at this point what happens to this tic tac. You can even ditch it by just going like this, opening it up, and closing it back. So now you have it in palm position, and just hand them the tic tac box. Alright, you can do that. That's an option. Alright, you don't necessarily have to do that. You don't have to do everything I say. Okay, you can come up with your own variation. That's the reason. This whole DVD is not something for you to just do and copy. It's for you. It's an idea for you to use and put into your own routine. Do it with your own candy box. Don't do it with the tic tac box. Right? Do something else. So, in any case, let's go over that one time. You do this position, boom, right? In their hands, I'm just putting it here because it's convenient. Yeah. So at this point, they're kind of freaking out. They're feeling the tic tac, all right? And you can show the box semi-empty, all right? But then you're gonna clean up now. As you clean up, you grab it with your left hand. You proceed to take the tic tac box. Use your thumb. I don't know if the camera can catch what my thumb's doing. It's actually pulling out that tic tac. Close. Hand it to them. It's right here, right? And you can go like this because it's attached to your hand right now. And you're done. Then you pull it out of the thread and you're clean. So that is the penetration of the tic tacs. Now, I can go over that one more time, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory what to do in the whole process of getting the tic tac inside the box, right? Like I said, the switch, and you can come up with your own switch, by the way. I know, in my opinion, this switch that I'm doing is not perfect. It's good, but it's not perfect. But still, if you can come up with your own switch, that would be wonderful, because then that way it's your own. Then it becomes your own trick, right? So anyways, you do this, boom. That was in slow motion. I'll show you fast motion just one more time. Alright. So it looks like the tic tac just goes right through. Here. Now it's in their hands at this point. So here, close it up, hand it to them. Show, down, or rip it out, whichever one you want. I usually just tear it out, okay? Because you don't need it anymore, and they can examine everything, which is awesome. So that is the penetration. Let's get into phase 2, where it's the vanishing of the actual tic tac, all right, or the variation. So let's get into that right now. Alright, so for this, you just need one tic tac, and it's the one that's attached to the string. So, let's say you borrow. Let's just say you just so happen to be borrowing a tic tac box and the tic tac, alright? Well, what you're going to do is you're going to do the same thing. You're going to attach it to your thumb. You get the borrowed tic tac, place it there as they're examining the box, alright? They're done? Great. Now, you already have wax on your thumb, alright? But when you peeled it off your other thumb, there's still some remains of that wax. What you're going to do is you're going to place it onto that box by scraping it with your thumb, like so. So if you notice right now, if I place it on the table, it's actually stuck, alright? So, you push it in. Now, I don't have invisible thread. This is really thick thread, but I'm just going to give it a shot anyways, see if it works. If I pull on it, nope, that's not going to work. Alright. So it works with invisible thread though. Because of how thin the thread is, when you close it and you even lock it, it'll, even though you're not, even though it's closed completely, it will still go upwards, like a pulley when you pull your head up. Obviously you can't right now because of the thread. So I'm just going to kind of do this right here. And essentially, if you pretend that this thread is not there, pretend that this hand is not there, all I'm doing is I'm lifting my head up slightly, like a pulley system, and all of a sudden it just vanishes, right? Whilst my hand does that. Alright? So, now, here's another thing. Because the wax is on the table, or sorry, on the Tic Tac box, it's not going to go anywhere when you pull it up with your head. Alright? So, pretend this is invisible, first of all. Alright? And you can have the other hand here if you want. You don't have to have it fully closed. If you want to have it fully closed, fine, that's up to you. It is risky if it is fully closed because sometimes it does get caught in one of these ridges. It does get caught in one of those ridges right there, and it can snap the thread, which is not good. But if you're lucky, or not if you're lucky, I mean most of the times it should go through. Alright? But sometimes it does get caught. So, to be completely and 100% safe, you don't want to close it all the way. You just leave it slightly open, have the other hand here, take the other hand, make it vanish, done. Now you close it, and you go like this. Now, don't end here, because they're going to want to examine the box. So you're going to want to make it reappear, alright? Either you have a dupe, make it reappear somewhere else, be like, oh, it reappeared next to that deck of cards, or just have it hidden somewhere, while you do the exact same ditch, pull it out with since your thumb contacts that thread, it's easy to pull out that Tic Tac. Oh, here, this is exposed here. You just pull with your thumb out, close, down, alright, as you do this. So, from the spectator's point of view, it looks something like this. Make it vanish. Ta-da. Alright. Make it say, point to a section in the room saying it's over there. They check it. It is indeed there. And then they can check everything. Why? Because the Tic Tac's right there. Alright? So, yeah. That is the Tic Tac vanish and reappearance. I wouldn't do this because I think it kind of gives away the secret. I wouldn't do the vanish, and then I wouldn't make it reappear once more, because first of all, it's hard to do that, and secondly, I don't know, it kind of gives away the secret. So, just vanish it, alright, point to a location, they find the Tic Tac there, just go here, pull it out, boom, nonchalantly do that, alright? Some people might catch it some people might catch it if this Tic Tac is too close to you, so it has to be somewhere else farther away while you're doing the cleanup, alright? But that's if you screw up on the cleanup. If you do it well, I don't think anyone will catch you, alright? So that is, so that's it for this is the variation where the Tic Tac vanishes from the Tic Tac box, using the exact same principle. I think the penetration is much cooler, but that's, up to you. So yeah, whichever one you want to do, you can use. So that is the Tic Tac vanish / So one last thing about the in terms of the Tic Tac box being stuck on the table, just try. It's a trial and error kind of thing. You wanna put it on the table with the wax, and if you notice, the position which I find the best on Tic Tac boxes is you want the thread to be right. Hold on. You want the thread to be right over here. Okay, and here's what I mean. So when you close it, you want the thread to be coming out at this position, right here. That way it doesn't get caught over here on these ridges. You'll know what I mean when you have a Tic Tac box in your hand. So that way, when it's stuck on the table and you're moving your head up to cause that Tic Tac to rise up, it'll get caught on there. I mean, it won't get caught on there. Sorry, it won't get caught on there, and it'll slide up smoothly. And because there's wax on the table, it's stuck. So yeah, and like I said, if you like to play it safe, and if this is a borrowed Tic Tac box, by the way, then yes, do play it safe, please. And don't close it all the way. Keep it open slightly with the other hand. Make it vanish, clean up, do the whole shebang. And that's just my little 2 cents about the vanishing part. There's 2 variations. You can either hold it like this while it's slightly open, or you can close it completely while making sure that the thread is on this end. Alright, because if you notice on Tic Tac boxes, the ridges are from here to here, so you want the thread to be right there. Okay? Alright, so that is chapter 2. Now we're going to move on to number 3. Alright, so now for chapter 1 and 2, the Tic Tac and the coin vanish, the thread from your ear to the elbow was at the same length. You didn't need to change the length of those threads the entire time. But for the cup, you do. You're gonna, let's just go over this again. Take the tape onto the thread, loop the thread around about however many times you want to loop it around. I recommend 3 or above because it can get detached. Here. And then, now, it depends how you're sitting down. So I would recommend sitting, you're probably at your table right now. So you sit down next to a table, take a cup. Now, this is rather a small cup, and the reason why I use this was because, for explanation purposes, because of how see-through it is. Because if I shine a light behind it, you'll be able to see the ball go up. So, you'll know what I mean later on. You can use a foam cup, by the way. That's perfectly fine. Or you can actually use one of your own cups that you have at home. But you'll have to do some tweaking with that, and you'll see what I mean. So your hand, stretch out your hand all the way like this. The thread, your spool is going to have to go all the way to where your middle finger ends, right there. Okay? Take your left hand, an inch. Sorry, let's try that again. Take your left hand an inch. You break it, well, in this case for me I have to cut it, but you break it, you break the invisible thread. So, after you got the thread cut out, what you want to do is you're going to take a needle. Alright, and what you're going to do with that needle, which has a hole, I don't know if you can, let me go really close to the camera so you can see that. The needle with a hole in it. Alright, so you can see that right there. Now, you're gonna, okay, obviously a needle is longer than this, alright, but you're gonna break that. You're gonna break that needle into a quarter. Keep that top edge with the hole in there. Take the thread, and, no, this is the hard part. You're gonna put it through the hole, tie a knot, as if you're about to sew something, alright, so. Alright, so you're going to take the thread, place it through the hole, and if you've ever done sewing before, then this should be a little tougher than actually sewing because invisible thread is much tougher to tie, but you'll get it, especially if it's not elastic. Remember, you have to get non-elastic thread. So if the thread you're provided should be fine, but if you're using elastic thread, it's not going to work, okay? So you're just going to push that thread right in there, and you're going to tie it. into a knot. Alright, so if you ever done this, or you can get your sister or get your wife. Alright, so once you have that all finished and tied up, you have this. You're gonna poke a hole. Let's say, why don't you just get a foam cup? You don't need to get a cup like this because this is tiny. So you're gonna poke a hole right through the cup, right? Which you've poked into the styrofoam cup. Reach in the other end. Don't poke yourself, and it's okay. You're not gonna poke yourself because, you're not gonna stab yourself because you have used pliers to break off the other end. So now you have a small piece with a hole. So this is what you have, and you probably already know exactly what's gonna happen. You borrow a piece of paper, dollar bill, chewing gum wrapper. I'm using this because that's the only thing I can find in my house right now, so I don't have any money. I'm serious about that. Okay. You have paper ball. Cover that up. Alright? Now, like I said, you probably already know what's about to happen. Alright? As you raise up your hand. Ta-da! Obviously, you don't want to do that. But my point is, when you raise up the thread, the ball's going to levitate up. Now we're going to have a light shining behind the cup so that you can know what we mean. Alright? Okay. Alright, so now with the light showing, you can see exactly when the ball goes up. Alright, you can see it going up. And that's why I'm using this cup, so it's pretty much see-through when you have a light shining through it. So what's going to happen is you're going to borrow a piece of dollar bill. So you can't really have the cup examined, and that's the only unfortunate part about this routine, and obviously the reason why you can't have it examined is because of that hole. That's okay though. This is one of those routines where you would perform if you were invited and you're in front of a crowd. Not something you would do at a restaurant, because I guess you could do it at a restaurant if you wanted to, but it's something if it's in a formal setting where people don't go and grab your stuff, where people are civilized. So, but in any case, you borrow the dollar bill, you wrap it up in that pin that you have. Alright, so you wrap it up, and it's okay, the cup can be lying down here because it's on thread, so it doesn't matter. You drop it like that, casually, place it on top, alright? Now, if you notice what I did in the trailer, I went like this, mimicking snapping my hands, alright? But I don't do that with my left hand, I'm going to do that with my right hand. I'm going to do this, the reason why I'm doing this is because, now, I don't know if you can see the ball right now, it's being lifted up, right? Don't do this, that's bad. You don't want to move this hand too much because you might accidentally go too far. So you're going to just leave it up until here, about an inch above. You'll estimate and you'll figure it out your own comfortable position. Again, this is all because everyone's a different size, their hand size, their lengths are different, even the cups that we're going to be using are probably different. So everything I'm saying right now, just kind of don't take it too seriously because this is my personal settings. You got to kind of change your own settings when it comes to your own cup and your own string and your own ball. So I'm snapping my hands as I'm raising my head and my left hand. Again, this is a pulley system. Right? It kind of makes sense by now. I think you already got the idea of it. The ball's up against the cup. At this point, you can tell the spectator to lift up the cup as you lift your head up. Now, you notice what happens. If they go really fast, you'll see what happens. So, like I said, if you're using a bigger cup, you're fine because you have a lot of leeway. Now, this small cup has very little leeway, so I recommend a bigger cup. Again, the only reason why I'm doing this is because you can see exactly the moment where the ball raises up. So, you go here. Snap your hands. You can lift it up if you want, alright, because that's clean. But if you want to have your spectator lift up, you're going to have a lot of audience management. If they lift it up, right, you got to immediately grab it from them, okay? Now, I know this sounds kind of strange, but you don't want them to go like this, because if they go like this, they'll obviously see the ball, which is not good. So you want them to just have it lifted up once. You say, okay, good, the magic's done. You grab the cup, you proceed to making the ball appear somewhere else. Alright? So essentially what this is, this idea, this concept of using the invisible thread with the cup and the pulley system, it's a chop cup routine. So if you have a chop cup routine that you're doing, this is perfect for that. Because the reason why is you don't have to go like that to make the ball go down onto the table. You don't. All you gotta do is just move your head slightly downwards, and now the ball's here. You move your head slightly back, now the ball's gone. Right? So it's like the perfect chop cup routine, in my opinion. Except it uses thread, not magnets. So, anyways, regardless of if you're using a chop cup, you could have it examined, but I don't think it really matters when it comes to something as magical as this, because the point is they don't think the cup is gimmick because it's hard to believe it is when you're barely doing anything and everything's done at the fingertips, right? So, and like I said, it's just a different way of performing the chop cup. I wouldn't say it's a better way, I'm just saying it's a different option. So now you have different alternatives. Alright, instead of using magnets, you can use thread. Alright? And I like the idea of this chop cup because the thread with a paper ball is light, so it's not going to break. Alright? Whereas with a coin, it only lasts you about maybe 5 or 6 performances. By then, the thread might start to get weary, and you might have to change threads. Okay? So, that is chapter 3. This is the chop cup routine utilizing the thread. And yeah, I hope you have fun with this idea. Play around with it, add it to your own cups and balls routine. So, I hope you have fun with it. Thank you very much. Alright, so here's just an idea you can mess around with for the cups and balls. I have the string here so you can see exactly everything that's going to go on, but I'm going to just run through the whole routine as if I was performing it. So here's just an idea for you to use if you want to. You can see the ball in the cup. You snap your hands, it vanishes. Oh, where'd it go? It's in here. Tell you what, we can take that, make that go right through into the cup. Actually, as a matter of fact, you can actually see the ball right there. Okay? I'll just place that ball right into my pocket. Oh wait, let me just put it back away. Hold on, 1 second. Okay, one last time. It's getting kind of annoying now. Alright, tell you what, we can take that, just place it right into there, so you can see that. But the snap of my hands, they turn into chiclets. Just like that. So, as you can see, these are just the possibilities that you can use with the cups and balls routine using the string and the chop cup. Alright, and you can obviously have other loads, like obviously you're going to have a bigger cup than this, so you can put a bigger load in there. But yeah, I mean, there it is. That's just one idea that you can mess around with. And this idea of using the chop cup right here, where it's attached to the string, you pretend to grab the ball, right? This is actually a really cool idea. Since it's attached to string, it's obviously not going to fall down. Almost like the chop cup when it's magnetic. So you have the ball here, you pretend to place the ball in your hand. Now the great thing is there's nothing here, so when you place it down, psychologically, spectators don't know that there's a ball when there is, right? So, and the great thing again, unlike the chop cup, you don't have to go like that to make the ball demagnetize, right? All you need to do is just lower your head slightly. Alright, so yeah, that's just a couple of the ideas that you can use. Also with this, as you saw in the trailer, in the performance, I went like that. All I have to do is I pull my head up, shoot this ball up into the cup as I cover and pull out. Right? So yeah, those are just a couple of ideas that you can mess around with this wonderful idea of using thread in a chop cup routine. Thank you very much. Some final thoughts on the 3 chapters. The coin vanish, in my opinion, is the strongest amongst the 3 because it's clean, and in my opinion, the reason why it works is because of the cleanliness and the ability for you to show all your hands empty. That's the only reason why. Number 2, the setup is not that bad. Alright? You can wrap the thread around a card, put it in your wallet. There you go. It fits in your wallet. Perfect. Or you can carry it on your ear, attach the thread to your arm, and then when you want it, take it from your arm, put it on behind your thumb. There you go. You have it set up. Like I said, it's my favorite coin vanish because it requires very little sleight of hand. The angles are great, right? And it's clean. You're going slowly the entire time. It allows you to perform this coin vanish slowly, which in my opinion, that's how coin vanishes should be done. It should be done slowly, very slowly. That way they get to appreciate the time the magic has been done. Alright, and then after it's vanished, they're going to want to check your hands because that's what audience people do. They want to look around and see where the coin is. See, the thing is, they're not going to see anything. The problem with impromptu coin magic, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but let's say you do a JW vanish, right? They might want to go down right away. And if they do that, they might see the coin, right? Then obviously you're going to have to change and do something to change that. Or let's say, for example, you do the French drop, and now it's vanished in this hand. They're obviously going to say, okay, now the coin's in the other hand. They're going to look at the other hand, right? So now you're going to have to do some sort of a ditch, maybe muscle pass it inside of your jacket pocket or do something. But my point is, there is no real cleanup to this coin vanish with the thread, which is why I like it so much. Now for the tic-tac. The penetration is my favorite. The vanish is good, but it's a little impractical in a sense that it just kind of, it's too much for something that isn't that magical. You're just vanishing a tic-tac, making it reappear somewhere else. Whereas the penetration is completely different. It looks like the tic-tac literally goes through the box. And the setup isn't that bad either. So, yeah, that's my thoughts on the tic-tac. And I was just giving the vanishes as just an option to do. Because I like giving options. And for the cups, like I said, this is just an idea for you to mess around with. I do this in my cups and balls routine because I feel very strongly that, in my opinion, it's the cleanest one that I do. But if you want to use the chocolate, that's fine. That's up to you. But this is just an option for you to use, if you want to. So it's a neat little idea using invisible thread with all 3 chapters. So yeah, whichever one you want to do, you can do all of them. So your choice. But it's a really neat idea using invisible thread as something else as a levitation. And I've always liked that idea, and that's why I wanted to come up with something like these routines, because people aren't expecting you to use invisible thread when you move an object from one place to another. Of course they're going to expect you to make it when you're making something levitate. Of course they're looking for thread. But when you're making something vanish, maybe they're expecting a reel or magnets or something, but it's none of those, right? And thread is something that you can carry around everywhere. You can wrap it around a playing card, like I said, put it in your wallet. When you want to perform it, take the tape out, put it attach your ear, unreel it, put the wax on your shoulders, and there you go, you got it. So yeah, that is the vanishing. Those are all 3 of my routines, and now let's get into the bonus routine.